Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, all the students of third year Business Administration Department, morning and evening section. I hope all the students are fine by the grace of Allah, and I trust Ramadan is going on good as well. This is second recorded lecture of your subject local management and second week of e-learning as well. Today I will cover last 10 slides of the chapter and chapter will be completed. All right. Uh, I start from slide number 27 until slide number 26 we have completed during classes at university. Here slide number 27 it is the possible question it becomes what is culture and how does it impact from local to global management. When any company is passing its journey of success from local markets toward global level, it has to face one major hurdle, that is culture. First we see the definition of culture. Culture means the beliefs, customs, arts, etc. of a particular society, group, place, or time. Another definition that is written in your chapter culture is that is written here top. Culture is the shared set of beliefs, values, and pattern of behaviors common to a group of people. For example, if you are going to launch your product into another country, being a manager, you must have to understand the culture of that country in order to successfully start your operation from local to at international level. Another example, any company of let's say America, USA launch its product into Kurdistan, they have to follow Muslim culture because Kurdistan is Muslim territory. For example, they cannot follow the material contents in advertisement as they follow in USA. Now there are other different terminologies that are associated with the culture. The second point, culture shock. Culture shock, it means confusion and discomfort a person experience in an unfamiliar culture. In simple words, culture shock is the feelings of uncertainty or confusion that people experience when visiting, doing business in, or living in society that different from their own. Now, how you will handle this situation? This situation can be overcome by hiring local staff that will work with you and will help you to understand the culture and norms of this country in which you are for launching your product or business. Sometimes culture shock can be daunting for those who do business uh, from local level to international level. Many international companies provide training to help employees and reduce cultural shock. So above these are the ways to overcome this problem. Next one is cultural intelligence. This third point, cultural intelligence, slide number 27. Cultural intelligence, the ability to adopt and adjust to new culture. For example, once you will shift your business from local to international and you will set up new branch into that country, this will open up many new opportunities, but it will also create some challenges such as different nationality, ethnicity, or beliefs, etc. So cultural intelligence means how fastly you adopt these changes. All right. Next point is ethnocentrism. It means tendency to consider one's own culture as superior to other. Means you will understand your culture, your norms are superior as compared to the others in the country in which you are. In other simple words, ethnocentrism means that one may see his or her own culture as the correct way of living. For those who have not experienced other cultures in depth, can be said to be anthrocentric if they feel that their lives are the most natural way of living. So being a manager, you are grabbing up your business from local to international level. Then don't mess with such things, and do not call wrong to others. Just focus upon the work and lead to your business. This thing will boost up your business that is required. Here slide number 27 ends up, and next slide 28. 28 stages in adjusting to new culture. Stages in adjusting to a new culture. Culture shock generally moves through 5 different phases. Here are 5 stages generally every businessman and uh, manager in new country goes through. The first stage, that is confusion. At start, by having a new things, might be you will confuse any managers over there. They will confuse why it is, why not in this way, etc, etc. The second point, small victories. Then slowly you will understand the things around you, and you will start to adopt these ways. Okay, and upon the third stage, that is the honeymoon. This stage is usually characterized by extremely positive feelings. Everything is a new and exciting. You might be thinking this is the best decision I have ever made. For example, you are in Sweden. For boosting up your business, you will feel that Sweden is a great and everything is really well organized. And next phase stage is, that is second last, irritation and anger. This is a stage might also you might also will experience that why these things are in this way, why not in that way, and sometime might be you will feel irritation by such things that is different from your thoughts. But at end, last stage is the last stage, that is the reality, also called adoption stage. This is the final stage of the culture shock. At this stage, you have accepted and adopted the customs, habits, and cultural practices of your new country, the country in which you are for boosting up your business. This final stage contributes to your successful integration. So these were 5 stages, okay, that each businessman or manager will face once they go for business in another country, from local to international. All right. Then the next slide, that is 29, silent languages of culture. There are 3 silent languages. 3 different segments are under this question: context, time, and space. First one, context. Under it, there are 2 points: low context culture and high context culture. Low context culture emphasize communication via spoken or written words. Once you will move to another country for boosting up your business from local to international level, you will experience these things over there: low context culture and high context culture. We see first of all the low context culture. A low context culture relies on clear communication. In low context communication, more of the information in a message is spelled out and defined. Cultures with Western European roots, such as United States and Australia, Canada, and Germany, are generally considered to be low context culture. Right. The next one, high context culture. A high context culture relies on hidden communication and nonverbal cues. In high context communication, a message cannot be understood without background information. Asian, African, Arab, Thailand, Central European, and Latin American cultures are generally considered to be high context culture. These two types, high context and low context culture, that manager might experience in abroad, and manager has to follow which way is adopted, uh, which way need to adopt in that country in order to make the things easy. Right. Next point, silent language of culture is time. Here, time in culture means how people follow to time management while performing their their work in other countries. Where we have two types, monochronic cultures and the polychronic cultures. To understand these two different time cultures and how they contrast, consider the following example. Here I give you one example. For example, a traveler becomes frustrated when the uh, customs manager takes too long to stamp their passport and help them pass through the body scanner. The manager moves at slow pace. Manager moves at slow pace because other team members keep interrupting him, and his phone keep ringing. The travelers wants the manager to finish one task in a time, stamping his passport. Yeah, stamping their passport before moving on to the next. Instead, the manager is trying to complete multiple tasks at once. That the traveler is a classic example of a monochronic person, and the manager is polychronic. I summarize in simple words, in other simple words, monochronic culture means people tend to do one thing at one time. For example, people of USA, Canada, and Germany. And polychronic culture, time is used to accomplish many different things at once. For example, people of Egypt, Saudi, and Mexico, right? So these two types of culture that businessmen or manager will experience when they move from local to international level for enhance their business activities. The next last point of silent language of culture is space or proxemics, study of how people use space to communicate. In other simple words, the amount of space that people feel it necessary to set between themselves and others. In USA, people of USA they prefer personal space, and many Latin and Asian cultures expect much less uh, personal space. While local to international business activities, manager or businessman might also experience these things. Every culture has a set of hidden cultural rules concerning the physical space or proxemics between people when communicating. Breaking any these rules could be interpreted as impolite or even threatening. So managers and businessmen have to keep in mind such things when they travel in other countries for boosting up their business. So here our topic, silent language of culture, is completed. It is very much important to understand all these concepts while moving from local to international phase of management, because better understanding of such concept will affect positively upon all your planning, organizing, leading and controlling, and ultimately will lead you toward the success, right? The last slide of our today's lecture: what is comparative management and what is global manager? Comparative management and global manager. Comparative management is the identifying, mirroring and interpreting of similarities and differences among managers, behaviors, techniques followed and practices applied as found in various countries. In simple words, it is a comparison management. It is a comparison between local management and international management. It focus on similarities. It focuses on similarities and differences among business and management system from different contexts. Comparative management is the study and analysis of how management differs in various environments such as local and international. It is said in management, think global and act local. Managers compare and adopt best policies uh, upon local level in order to enhance local business. And at last, global manager who needs to successfully apply management functions across international boundaries. uh, in simple words, the one who is handling all the business activities from local to up till international level. That's it. All right, guys. In today's lecture, we have completed following topics: culture and stages in adjusting to new culture. Slide number 27 and 28. That next one I have explained silent languages of culture. Slide number 29, 30, 31, 32, and 33. And at end, I have explained comparative management and global manager. Slide number 34. uh, Here I wind up today's lecture. All the students please must listen it carefully, and if you will have any question you can ask while Zoom meeting. Now I take leave. Stay blessed. Assalamu alaikum.